everyone. So the Lakers trading for Rui Hachimura was a game changer on multiple levels. Now, obviously, it's a 6'8", 230-pound sizable wing that could play both forward spots, 3 and D. He's having a little struggles with the three-point shooting, but he has shown that he's more than capable of knocking down the three ball. He's really good at operating in the mid-range, which opens the door for so many possibilities in offensive sets, from pick and pops, him just being a guy that you could throw the ball down to in the block and let him just go get a bucket, right? Guy that can score at all three levels. He's really physically strong and gets to his spot really easily. One thing that a lot of people are throwing out there, which is true, he was compared to him, was Kawhi Leonard, that he could kind of evolve into a Kawhi Leonard type player, which would be fantastic, right? He doesn't really have the defense right now, but Darvin Ham has done better with worse, and he has the intangibles to be a great defender. Could really pick up that three-point shooting, especially being next to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, guys like that. But the reason it's a game changer beyond just the inherent trade, right? Because I do think he helps. I don't think he moves the needle so much that it's like, oh, now we're a contender. Like, I think he makes us better. But the real sort of game changer is now we're kind of locked in, right? Now, if you're the Lakers, you're pushing your chips to the table. I personally think the Lakers are going to do other trades. I think this was just the kind of the first domino to fall, and that several others will happen, whether it's one more trade that's like a bigger trade, or several sort of smaller trades. Maybe it's, a Boyan trade and then, whatever, like a Cam Reddish trade, something like that. Or maybe they get Boyan and Alec Burke or whatever. They work out some sort of deal. Even a Spurs trade. There were reports that the Lakers and Spurs could be picking up talks again centered around Russell Westbrook, right? The Lakers at this point need to go all in, because you're going to have to re-sign Hachimura, and he's going to get somewhere probably between the 10 to 15 million range, somewhere around there. Lakers only have about 30 to maybe 32 million in cap space. And so if you're going to sign him, the Lakers plan on re-signing Austin Reeves. So with those two, there's pretty much all of your cap space, right? And so unless Hachimura turns into like this absolute stud, you're kind of stuck, unless you go all in and get several pieces. Now, maybe you re-sign Russ or whatever, which you could still do other trades. You could still take Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn and go make another move. But I think at this point, you got to explore trades with these two guys. I love Russ. I have been a huge Russ defender. I have been a huge Russ advocate in many ways. I've constantly stuck up for Russ. I've been to my detriment at times, right? But I just really love what Russ has done with this team this season and the sacrifice he's willing to make. I mean, we heard an entire offseason of just the entire world saying he's never going to change. He's never going to accept the role. He's never going to do it. Like, everybody just kind of basically, just shooting down Russ and never giving him a fair shake. And I was just the one standing in the corner screaming, like, can we just give him an opportunity? Can we just wait and see before we just jump to conclusions, right? Many players have changed. Maybe Russ can do the same. And he really did. And he's thrived and he's blossomed. And he's our bench entirely. But he's also a guy, as much as I love him, he's a guy that can get us several pieces for now and the future, and likely give us as much production as he is giving, right? Same thing with Patrick Beverley. I know a lot of people really like Patrick Beverley and want the Lakers to keep Patrick Beverley. Problem is he's our only sizable contract that we could trade outside of Russell Westbrook, right? Like, if you want Bojan Bogdanovic, you're probably taking Patrick Beverley and Lonnie Walker and getting Bojan Bogdanovic, right? Like, if you want Terry Rozier or any of these like 18 to 22 million guys, Buddy Hield maybe, something like that, you have to unload Patrick Beverley. Now, maybe the Lakers do that and they do the Russ deal. That is always a possibility, right? Like, maybe they find some trade. Josh Richardson is a guy that is available for a first or for a second round pick. So maybe they take Patrick Beverley and go get Josh Richardson for a second, and then take Russ and maybe go do a Hornets deal or something. We could definitely see that. But these two guys could very likely get you back, 3, if not 4 guys that you can have for the long haul. right? And that's what the Lakers need. The big problem the Lakers have been having is just they've getting so much roster turnover that it's hard to build chemistry. It's hard to build relationships. It's hard to build that team. And I understand that the Lakers this season seem to be really thriving. They seem to be building that chemistry. They seem to kind of be, fighting for each other. But it's not just about this season. And if you can, one, upgrade in talent, and two, on top of upgrading in talent, go get pieces that you could have for the next 3-4 years, that's a really good position for the Lakers to be in. And so if you could get, a Hornets deal, right? Get a PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, whatever, or all the pieces or several of the pieces or whatever, I think you do it. I think you go get that, right? Because these are all guys that fit the timeline that could, be a part of the LeBron era as it comes down to its end, and Anthony Davis, and give you the best chance to win a championship. Any of these trades that can basically, you could take Russ and get 2, 3, 4 quality level starters. That's the key, getting quality level starting players, not just guys that can come in and just be bodies on the bench or bodies on the court. No, you need guys that can come in and night out, provide that consistency. The problem with the Lakers is they don't have a ton of consistency, right? Like even the Blazers game, we won that game, but we were down 25, and we've had so many games this year. One, where we just can't close out the tight games and close games, where if you have enough depth and you have enough talent, a lot of those games probably wouldn't even be close. And two, how many games have we been down 14, 15, 20? And the Lakers are just in this terrible spot, and now they got to play catch up the rest of the game, and they end up falling short because they just don't have the energy that once they catch up and they get back into the game, that's it. Anthony Davis is getting hurt, and he has to play, 40 minutes a game. LeBron James has to. How do you get them to get their minutes down? You go do a trade that makes sense, that really kind of gives you the pieces you need to now. Anthony Davis only has to play, 32 minutes. LeBron only has to play 32 minutes, right? And you start cutting it down. Oh, this game, we blew this team out by 30. LeBron and AD didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you want. That's the kind of stuff you want to hear when it comes to any type of Lakers team. And I think the Lakers can do that, but you have to unload Russ and you have to unload Patrick Beverley. And it makes no sense to not do it at this point, because again, you gotta re-sign Hachimura. You're gonna keep Austin Reeves. That's pretty much all your cap space, right? Like, yes, you can move some things around and work some stuff out, but one, I don't think they're gonna do it. Two, like, why would you want to run the risk of losing guys? Three, you always have that team that goes, oh, Lakers are procrastinating. Let's give Hachimura, $20 million just to mess with the Lakers because they're not going to let him go, right? So now they have to match it, right? Like, if you're the Lakers, now you just overpaid because you wanted to play games. Like, it's just not worth it, right? So if you're the Lakers, your best bet is to try to find a move or two that really gives you guys, not just for this season, but for the next several. Right? Like, let's say you do the Spurs trade and you get Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, right? And then you take Patrick Beverley and Lonnie Walker and you flip those into Bojan Bogdanovic, right? Well, now you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Bojan Bogdanovic, right? You still have Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott. You're 8 to 9 deep, and we haven't even gotten to the new roster spots, right? We haven't even gotten to like Max Christie, the draft pick that you're going to draft this season. We haven't even gotten to the taxpayer mid-level and then the biannual. You're 15 guys deep, right? Like, at that point. And then whatever vet minimums you could get and stuff, like, you're going to be one of the deepest teams in the league for the next several seasons. You got multiple wings, you got size, you got shooting, you got scoring. Like, that's what the Lakers need to look to do. The Lakers need to look to make a move. Maybe it's even the Pacers deal, right? Maybe now it makes more sense. Whatever the Lakers end up doing, they really need to start kind of putting together these other trades and these other packages. And I really do believe that they're going to. I don't think this is it. I don't think that this was the be all end all. I don't think it was like, oh well, we got Rui, like that's it. What else do you expect from us to do? Like I think they know how this works. They know the cap situation. They know what they were getting themselves into by going and trading for him. And I just don't think they're just gonna let, like, okay, well, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Rui Hachimura are going to be more than enough for the next 3 seasons. Like, I just don't think that that's the case. Maybe Rui turns into this incredible, maybe he goes to a 25, 22 point a game guy and as the third option, and he's just great. And he does evolve into that, like, okay, like, this is our legit star for the future. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen. I do think he could go to like, 18 to 20 points per game range. I mean, he's averaging 13 a game right now. Imagine what he could do with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and as he grows and matures and develops and only gets better, that could be something that he improves as well in. So I do think he could get to being like a 20 point per game guy, but you need as much talent. You need as much roster pieces as possible, as many rotation guys as possible, and guys that you could have for a while. And I think that the Lakers could find that, and they need to find that, and they really need to kind of you pushed your chips to the table. Let's go. Let's not play games. Let's get what we can done. Again, you don't ever want to make a deal just to make a deal. You never want to just do a trade just for the sake of doing a trade. But you need to find proper moves if you can. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Like, yeah, if you're the Lakers, you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing the chips to the table. You got to keep making stuff happen, whatever it is. If it's Boyan, if it's Spurs deal, if it's a Hornets deal, if it's a Pacers deal, if it's one of the 30 deals we've had with the 30 teams that have been mentioned between the offseason and now. Good thing is the Lakers have options, right? Good thing is the Lakers are at least making efforts. And that's all you could really ask for at the end of the day, right? Like, that's your hope, is that they figure it out, they make the efforts, and now you're off to the races to try to compete for championships. That's the goal. But again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. However you feel, let me know down in the comment section below.